So today we're going to get started reading notes. Here you can see I have a grand staff, which is a treble clef and a bass clef. And the treble clef is on a staff of 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bass clef also on a staff of 5 lines. If you want to have an overview of the notes on the lines and spaces of the treble clef and bass clef, you can refer to the video that I've made on that. But for now, what we're going to do is focus on some of these guide notes from the beginning. The first note that we like to learn is this one here called middle C. Middle C is called middle C because it's in the middle of the piano. And you can see I'm sitting in the middle and there's a C right here. This one is middle C. I can write it up here with the treble clef and play it with my right hand. Or I can write it down here with the bass clef and play it with my left hand. It's the same key. And you can recognize this easily because it looks a bit like a cat. You can see the cat's head and the little whisker line that sticks out on either side. So here is middle C for right hand, and here is middle C for left hand. Notes don't look like cats, but it is kind of fun to draw cats. So here we have middle C. I can play it with right hand, and I can play it with left hand. The reason we have 2 staffs is because we have 2 hands, and this clef is a treble clef, so it represents the notes that are at the high end of the piano keyboard, and so these are the notes that are higher than middle C. The bass clef represents notes that are at the low end of the piano keyboard, and so it represents notes that are below middle C. They're more conveniently played with the left hand, and the right hand notes are more conveniently played at the high end of the piano keyboard. So the reason we have these clefs at the beginning is to help us determine where we're playing on the piano. Now this treble clef has a nice little target, bullseye, built in to the circle part of the clef, and it curls around this one line, which is the second line of the staff. This line is the G line. So this note G lives just above middle C, and it's here. So you can see on the second line up we have the note G, and it lives just a short distance above the treble clef, above the middle C in treble clef. If you're not familiar with the names of the keys on the piano, you should watch the video I have on learning key names. So far we have middle C and treble clef G. So we can play both of those with our right hand. We can play our thumb on C, we can play our 5 on G. And notes on the piano move by steps. And when they're written on the staff, they're written as line, space, line, space, line. So you'll notice I landed on a line again when I got to G. I can do the same thing in the bass clef. The reason we have this clef on the beginning of the staff is to let us know what range the notes will be in. And this clef looks different than the other, and it helps us find a different note. It's targeting the note on the second line down. And the way it's targeting it is it's got 2 dots that help you to locate the line, and it also has this big blob at the beginning of the line. So coming out from here, we have the note F. And this whole line is the F line. We can call this the treble clef or the G clef. We can call this the bass clef or the F clef. So again, we can play middle C with our left thumb, and we can play bass F with our left 5. And as I told you before, notes on the piano move from line to space to line to space to line. So what's happened here is we've got middle C and bass F both on lines. Line, space, line, space, line. And I've landed here in the bass clef on the note F. The next video will teach you to read groups of notes that are near our guide notes G and F.